when she was just disappointed and was like, oh, okay, and then walked out. And then they called her a tool. Hey fellow fiction fanatics, I'm Chase. Welcome to my channel, and today we're going to talk about In Real Life by Cory Doctorow and Jen Wang. This is the story of Anda. She's a teenage girl in high school, and she's just joined the MMORPG game called Course Gold online. She's really enjoying this game, and she's actually getting paid to do special missions. One day she meets this boy who's actually a gold farmer. So gold farmers actually collect valuable items and sell them to people who have the money to do so. This is actually illegal in the game, and Anda's really against this. But then she realizes her friend is just a poor Chinese guy, and this is his only way of livelihood, really. This is pretty much their story of becoming friends, and Anna trying to help him because she realizes that his living conditions and working conditions aren't all that great. And that's pretty much all I can say without spoiling anything, because this is a graphic novel and it's only 175 pages, so it's rather short. So now I'll go into what I liked about In Real Life. So I really love this cover. I like that it shows her gaming persona and her real life self. I really love the contrast between these two worlds in the book. The colors are very different. In the gaming world, it's very vibrant colors. In the real world, the colors are more dull, like browns and mustard yellow colors and stuff like that. So let me flip through the book and find you a few examples of these. So we've got bright colors here in the game world. And then here's the real world where the colors are much duller. In the beginning, I wasn't really sure how I felt about the character style, but that's because it starts off in the real world, and I think I just was expecting more vibrant colors at first, especially based on the cover. But as I got more into the story, the character style really grew on me. I also really enjoyed that Anda was shown as a nerd both in the game world and outside, because she also played D&D with a group of guys at her school. Personally, I really enjoyed that. So I also really liked how this book addressed real issues. This graphic novel really makes you think. It addresses the fact that people who have the money to just buy these items and advance through the game quicker have a real advantage. But it also makes you think about, well, if these people who are selling these items, if this is really their only way of making a living, is that okay? It also addresses working conditions and workers' rights, especially when it comes to health insurance. And the overall message of this book was just to be more accepting of others. Really put yourself in others' shoes before you judge them. And I thought that was a really good topic to address. Unfortunately, there was a lot of things that I didn't particularly enjoy about this graphic novel. I really felt like this graphic novel needed to be more developed in a lot of different areas. One area that could have been better developed was the characters, just their relationships in general. Take Lucy, for example. Lucy is part of Anda's guild in the game, but I had no idea about this until late into the graphic novel, and I felt like that should have been addressed way early on. I felt like when they met for the first time, it was pretty much just, hi, I have something to show you, follow me, and that's how they jumped right into becoming friends and jumped into the story. And I felt like if we got more dialogue, more conversation, maybe after going through a few missions together, then Lucy could have brought up, hey, I have something to show you, follow me, and showed her how to make money through Course Gold. And I felt like if that had been addressed better, we could have had more character development, more relationship development, and I felt it could have gone a lot farther and been a lot better overall. I would have liked to see more of Anda's character development, because in the beginning she gets a postcard that says, I hope you're adjusting well to your new home. And I wish we could have seen like maybe that she wasn't making a whole lot of friends or didn't have a whole lot of friends in the beginning, but as she gains more confidence through Course Gold, maybe she could have just reached out and had more and more friends and more confidence. I felt like that was something that was really missed, and I wish that had been included in this graphic novel. I would have loved to see more gameplay as well. there was pretty little actual gameplay, and I thought that was really lacking. I wish we could have seen her struggle a bit more, because we see her level up like 2 times. She goes from level 1 to level 4 in maybe 6 pages, maybe. She could have been going on more quests, and we could have seen this kind of interrupt her real life. I could just picture her going on a quest, and maybe there was this certain quest that she just couldn't seem to get through, and then maybe she finally is able to complete it. Maybe she was like, yes! And you see that as her character, and then you could have jumped to the real world, and you see her, that she was actually playing in class when she wasn't supposed to, and her teacher sees her raise her hand. Anda, do you have anything to add? And she's like, no. I think that would have been really funny, and just it would have added so much more to the graphic novel. I felt like the problem and the solution were just escalated so quickly. I wish that Anna had been able to give Raymond some suggestions and not just have one suggestion and then it fail immediately. Maybe she could have seen what her dad was going through and take notes, and then maybe talk to Raymond and say like, okay, here's the first thing you need to do. You need to go talk to your coworkers outside of work and explain why you need better health care. And he goes and does that, and once that's successful, she goes, okay, now you need to collectively express your demands in a letter anonymously, and if your boss doesn't respond or responds negatively, then you need to hold a sit-down strike. And maybe after they send the letter or right before the sit-down strike, the boss realizes that Raymond is the instigator, and then things go wrong. Like, that would have been better developed, shown more interaction between the two of them. I think this would have helped better develop the story, and you would have felt more emotionally inclined to these characters and wanted them to succeed. I think Anda could have struggled a little more to find Raymond after things didn't go right, and then when she can't find him, she could have tried to talk to other gold farmers and been denied a few times before anyone really talks to her. If she had been able to struggle more, and if she'd been able to give Raymond more advice, I felt like this would have been a better developed story and would have made me enjoy the story more overall. I also didn't really like when Steph, she was trying to talk to the D&D group and said that she wanted to start a board game club, and they were like, well, what sort of games? And she said Jenga, Scrabble, and they stopped her and were just like, D&D is very different from Jenga. When she was just disappointed and was like, oh, okay, and then walked out, and then they called her a tool, that was just uncalled for, I felt like. So personally, I love board games, and I play D&D, and I know that Scrabble and Jenga are very different from D&D, but I felt like they should have at least tried to include her or make her understand what D&D is. And I felt like maybe Anda could have stepped in at this point and been like, hey guys, I mean, she's at least trying to interact with us. Give her a chance, and then maybe explain to Steph in simpler terms what D&D is. Maybe explain, hey, D&D is basically an improv game where the dice determine whether or not you succeed at things. And then Steph could have been like, oh, okay, maybe I could join you guys next week. And maybe they could have just been more accepting. I just wish that had been included, because I feel like there's a stigma for those who play D&D and games like that. But if we're not including others or helping others understand what we're doing, then there's no way they're ever going to understand. So I just wish that had been addressed better, and wish that Anda had been able to become more confident. Overall, I thought the pacing was just too fast. I wish this graphic novel had been longer and more developed, and if it added these things, then I would have been able to enjoy it more. So my favorite quote from In Real Life was, "It's not about gender, nor age, nor race, but your ability to work hard at what you love." I thought this was a really good quote that could apply to anyone, and really shows that if you're passionate and you work hard at something, you'll be able to go far. So I gave In Real Life 3.5 out of 5 stars. If this story had been better developed, had more world building, gameplay, and build up to a solution, I would have been able to enjoy it a whole lot more, and I would have given it a higher rating. Overall, this story didn't wow me as much as I was expecting, but it was a quick, enjoyable read, so it has that going for it. that's pretty much all I have to say about In Real Life. If you read this graphic novel, let me know what you thought about it in the comments. Also, if you have any recommendations for graphic novels you enjoyed, please also leave those in the comments down below. As always, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and click that bell icon if you want to get notified every time I post new videos. And don't forget to share the love. I'll see you next time. Bye!